Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So, once again, it's a new year for all of us in Boys and Ghouls Film Review.
This is the first week of February. We haven't spoken to you for about 6 weeks, guys. So, here we go. Merry Christmas for you guys, belatedly, but I hope everything went well and you had a good New Year's and everything else. No slashes joined you on Christmas Eve.
Yes. So moving on, we are going to start our year off by doing a movie that's, well, actually, it's a two-part.
Well, it's the movie that was done back in 1984, and it's recently had, what do we call a reboot?
A sequel.
Sequel, reboot, whatever. Yes, finally, after all these decades.
Yes, and it's called The Mutilator 1 and 2, obviously.
Yeah, no, The Mutilator was originally titled Fall Break.
Yeah.
However, I think The Mutilator works a damn sight better.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I don't know why they had to change the name.
No, they muck around for names sometimes, and maybe it sounds a little bit more. Ooh,
yeah. And in the sequel, it does get picked up a lot in Easter egg time, but how they bring up how it was originally Fall Break, but then it turned to The Mutilator, and yada yada yada.
Well, the funny part is too, in the second movie, which we'll touch on, there were seriously a few Easter eggs in there. We'll touch that a bit later on, but there were, you could say, some cameos, sort of.
Quite a few.
To a certain degree.
Anyway, so
here we go.
Both movies are made by one creator called Buddy Cooper, who was nice enough to give us the sequel to do a bit of a private view previewing.
Because the second one is only on Shudder at the moment, so he gave us a copy of it. A watermarked copy. No, we cannot give it to you. But he did it out of a goodness of his heart.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah,
not Bob, but Buddy.
Buddy produced, directed, and he wrote the two movies. He had some co-writers, I think, on the second movie as well.
I think he did.
And there was as a co-director, at least on the first one I'm aware of. But anyway, irrespective, we're going to go through the two movies in a moment.
Right.
There's not a lot of information when it comes to budget and box office and stuff.
Yeah. Now,
the budget for the first movie was about $1 million. But there's a few problems with box office bouncing around, and I get the impression it had a limited run and different things. It probably made a lot more money on home media.
I agree.
And that's why I think it's probably a little bit under the radar for some people.
Yeah, interesting thing about this movie, guys, is the few things I know about it. One, Buddy Cooper had his family involved in this production. He had his, I think his wife and his child, taking part in it a little bit. Ooh. And I thought that was a nice thing. And he actually used his own home and the resorts.
Oh, there you go. Just Trace Cooper as young Ed Jr.
Yeah. So he kind of used his family resources, to further the movie without having to pay too much about, the film location, stuff like that. It's kind of a bit of a relief to actually film in your own home. I mean, if I had that luxury, I would do the same thing.
Did once.
I did, for my first film project, and this latest film project I did last year, we did a bit here, but I didn't want to do too much.
No, not too much. But however, it does upset the apple cart sometimes if the family got hot and cold running actors and crew and stuff. And
I think that in the second movie, they do use the same location, and they do a bit of a paint job in it.
I think it's the same place, but it's about 30 years later, so the area's changed a bit. There's probably some new houses put in the area and stuff, so it's possibly the original place.
Because I do recognise a few Easter egg spots around the place.
Anyway, here we
go. Moving on.
Here we go, moving on. Okay, right, I'll go through the cast. Now, Matt Mittler plays Ed Jr. Okay? Ruth Martinez plays Pam. Bill Hitchcock, I think he's in the second movie too, Bill, plays Ralph. Connie Rogers plays Sue. Frances Raines plays Linda. Maury Lampley plays Mike. Now, Jack Chatham plays Ed Senior. He's a creepy dude. He's a nice killer type,
Yeah.
Benny Moore plays as cop. No title, he's a cop. Tracy Cooper, that Sarah said before, is one of Bud's son probably. So Tracy Cooper plays young Ed Jr. And Pamela Wendell Cooper as the mother who gets shot in the kitchen, possibly.
Yes.
That okay.
Non-speaking role.
And it ow, it hurt. Maybe. John Bode plays the deputy at Wall. I think is he the guy who got his leg cut off?
Maybe.
He's a deputy at Wall.
Yeah, because I seem to recall during one of the scenes when a policeman arrives there, he gets his leg chopped off. And so you guys know, for the record, he does have no leg, because he used to be a soldier, and he kind of he just got his leg chopped off.
They cut it off in the movie, but he didn't have a leg to be cut off in the first place. So, hey, see, no green screen.
So they used a prosthetic leg for the scene where it got cut off, and pretty much you don't have to worry about him faking a fake leg.
Anyway.
But it's a good thing because I think that was pretty cool that he was able to use a fake, a fake leg and then not have have it chopped off in the scene.
See, being an amputee doesn't stop you from being an actor. Mm-hmm. Right.
So moving on.
Do you want to get into the story?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
The story begins where a young Ed is cleaning his father's gun before his Father's Day gift.
Yeah, his dad's birthday.
Yes. Yeah. His mother is in the kitchen making a nice cake for her hubby. And while the boy is cleaning in the den, bam, the gun goes off, and she's lying dead at the table.
Now, this is a high-powered rifle of some description. I don't know rifles very well, but the bullet went straight through the wall, straight into the kitchen, straight into Mum's back, and Mum went straight onto the floor.
Yeah. Father Ed Senior, Senior arrives. His name's Ed, obviously.
Ed, young Ed and old big Ed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
no imagination here, but anyway.
Anyway, he goes to the den, takes his dead wife's body, and tries to give her a bit of scotch to revive her, I guess.
Yeah, it needs to be OP rum, probably. That'll help.
Then we cross over to a few years later where his son, who's now a teenager, attending college and stuff, he is asked by his father to actually close up the cabin and anything else.
He's got a condominium at the beach. Mm-hmm. And Dad's been living there, sort of using it like a clubhouse for him and his hunting buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he tells his friends this, and they don't have anything to do for fall break, according to them.
So they have nothing to do. So let's go down there and
have a bit of
hang
fun.
out for a day or two and then do a log up. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, so
road trip.
So they load the car up, the booze, bikini, marijuana, the usual crap that you often see in these movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we get this interesting fall break song that accompanies them throughout the trip, and they soon arrive at their destination, where we don't see Big Ed anywhere, except we find out later he's been sleeping in the garage, I think, or not a garage, it was somewhere
we believe he was hiding underneath the house because he wasn't. The idea was he asked his son to come and lock up for him, making out that he'd gone away somewhere, but we believe he was downstairs waiting for his son to come so he can do a revenge kill on his son because he was mentally deranged after his wife.
But I think he also had a bit of a drinking binge, and instead of cleaning up like a sensible person, he decides to go and sleep it off in a different part of the house, where we watch as he gets dreams or flashbacks dreams more, where he dreams of killing his son in different type of ways.
I dream of Jeannie.
These scenes are really graphic, so if you're really not into that type of thing, I advise, if you're watching this movie, turn away.
Yeah.
I mean, turn your eyes away from that particular gory scene, because I know some of you guys out there don't like children getting killed or hurt.
Tom Savini would like this, wouldn't he?
I think he would. I think there's some really gory scenes in this, which I think would make Tom Savini and a lot of other special effects makeup artists really proud.
Yes.
So anyway,
nice death scenes.
So our group settles in, doing the odd thing, strip poker, Monopoly, you name it.
Strip Monopoly. No.
And some of them go off rendezvous outside, take a walk on the beach or take a walk to...
You remember Jaws?
Yeah.
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Yeah. One of the pair decides to go for a midnight swim in this swimming pool. I should mention in the scene, they actually poured some milk into the pool because it's their property. So that's their pool also.
They owned it, didn't they?
Yeah. So they won't have a problem. Except cleaning will
what did the milk was it actually helpful for the filming, wasn't it?
Make sure that you to avoid anyone to see a reflection or see anything underneath the water.
Yeah, the cloudier the better.
The cloudier the better. It makes it a little bit better. So anyway, the girl gets killed, and then the boyfriend tries to find her, and where he finds her clothing is scattered in different places. Thinking it's a scavenger hunt, he goes searching for her. But then he finds that the killer, and he ends up getting himself killed by him.
Bugger. Didn't see that one come, did he?
No. Our other group, some of the other kids do get killed along the way, leaving young Ed, or little Ed, and his girlfriend just waiting to get themselves hatched up. I'm sorry, I'm using the term. I should mention that...
What term? Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
There is an interesting axe the killer uses, but he doesn't... I don't think he even uses it. Yeah, it looks like a medieval
type axe, a double-sided axe type thing. Yeah.
It does explain in the movie why this is there, because it seems that Big Ed likes to throw the axe, like you guys know what throwing things are as a hobby.
Yeah.
And these days it's become a common type of...
Well, actually, we've been to axe throwing and hatchet throwing places.
Yeah,
it's quite
we
fun,
have.
and it's quite easy to do once you get in the hang of it.
Yeah, so it's kind of an ongoing sport now, if you can call it a sport.
It is. It's like playing darts, but bigger darts.
Yeah. And anyway, he's also has a lot of other sports. He's also a bit of a hunter and a fisherman, because we see a lot of mounting trophies, if that's the term.
Yeah, mounted trophies, yeah.
Deer, a big fish. There's even a hook on the wall, because there's even mention in this movie. He uses a hook in one of the scenes.
Yeah, one of the big hooks. I think I call it a gaff when you're trying to get a big fish in the boat. You sort of you hook into the thing and pull up. Yeah.
And in the quote in the poster, it says, "By axe, by something whatever," and in the last bit of words, it says "bye bye." I guess I can't remember the quote, but I know it's a really memorable quote. You may never see you hear so often when you ever refer back to the Mutilator. So anyway, moving on. So it's little Ed is our last one, and they're about to leave with the two remaining girls. Of course, one of the girls wants to head back inside to try to find her boyfriend, who is missing, and all that stuff. So she ends up getting killed next, and soon enough, it's our last two people left. And of course, when little Ed finds out it's his dad doing the murders and stuff, he realizes that, oh my gosh, what
Daddy dearest.
Dad's doing this. Oh gosh, I'm so shocked.
He's a very naughty boy.
Stuff like that. Anyway, eventually, as he's about to try to kill him, he tries to use, what did he try to kill his son with again? I think it was
Oh, I can't remember.
Well, it doesn't matter. Sorry, guys. Anyway, but luckily enough, the girl helps him get away, and they're about to get into the car. And of course, while they're talking, Ed is devastated. That
he got stabbed in the leg by his dad.
Yeah.
With something rather. I can't remember.
Yeah. But then his dad wakes up while these two are talking. It's one of those scenes where you're busy talking to your other person in the next room with you, and you don't notice the...
You should do a second tap on these guys, make sure they're dead, like they're a zombie or something rather.
Yeah, true. It's an ongoing thing. Anyway, soon enough, he wakes up and he's about to try to take another stab at his son, but fortunately, he gets pulled up. He kind of jumps onto the car and tries to attack them, but luckily enough, they were able to have him thrown, and he ends up getting crushed against the wall, causing him to bleed out and die.
Yeah, but he got cut in half. He'd bleed out pretty quick. Man.
Yeah. Anyway, they are soon enough a policeman. I should mention there were, as I said before, there was two policemen who came to the scene.
Yeah,
a deputy.
Yeah, one of them got killed, didn't he? Or both of them got killed?
Yeah, the policeman arrived, and he got his leg severely removed. not so severe because his leg is already gone. Anyway, soon enough, Led and his girlfriend are back at the hospital where they're resting off their wounds and getting over the trauma.
Yeah, and saying, "Oh, isn't it lovely? We're all better now."
Well, except for his dad. Anyway, soon enough, so we then cross over to, I don't know how many years since this was done in 1985. So this movie, how many years later? Let me see. I can't remember. I mean, let's say 30 years later.
Almost 30 years later.
Yeah, and this sort of takes place. It's still created by Buddy Cooper again.
It's more than 30. It was about 30 years in the movie.
Yeah, and in this one, it's like a movie within a movie, or not really a movie.
We're in the second movie now.
Because in this movie, in the sequel one, this one deals with. Well, you can. Do you want to tell anything about it?
I was trying to figure out when I watched. I got the impression they were doing a remake of the first movie.
Mm-hmm, I agree. I believe so.
And at the same time, they're going to head into a rap party that night as well. So so it starts off as the last scene of the movie they're making, and then rolls into the rap party, and that's where all the crap happens. You know, somewhere. Is that pretty close?
Yeah, it's pretty much. So, it's sort of.
However, supposedly some of the people in the original movie were there, different actors, obviously, in some cases. But the guy who played the killer.
That's a different actor.
Different actor, but the role was there, and he was saying, "Oh, it's good to come back, yada yada." I really like playing the killer, and he looked a bit sinister and evil, a little bit menacing, and everyone's going, "Okay," everyone going, "He must be the red herring." All right. So everyone's going. Then the killings start a little bit later on, and we're wondering who's the killer. It can't be the old guy because it's too obvious. Funny thing is, everyone's looking for the killer, and guess who it was? It's the old guy who was the killer in the movie. So it's sort of like, instead of having his red herring, he was the guy all the time, but had he masked all the way through when he's committing the murders. They had hoodies on or shadows of him, and you didn't actually see him. But you saw his hands occasionally. He's like, "Oh, old people's hands."
I would have thought it was maybe the lady who was playing the final girl's probably husband, or the guy playing her husband.
There was another old guy or two there, older guys. But the oldest guy there was the guy who played Ed. And he was a troublemaker. He was the fly in the ointment, if you will. Yes.
Yes. So anyway, the story takes place 30 years later, and a bunch of independent filmmaker crowd wants to remake the movie. It's again, as I said before, this movie the 1985 one is already known to individuals, and this one keeps mentioning Buddy Cooper and how he made this movie, and they're trying to make a better remake or just a reboot of that similar movie.
Yeah.
And anyway, and they're like days behind in filming. I think that's the term, because they had to have this movie, in the can.
Yeah, they're running over time and over budget and stuff. They needed it finished today because the budget's going through the roof. So as any amateur filmmaker independent filmmaker would know, money can be tight.
Yeah. There was a bit of complaints on set because the director and the crew don't agree with the direction.
They're doing long hours. No, they're doing long hours too. Yeah. The last couple of days was like 14-hour shoots and stuff. We've been there, but it's very hard, and sometimes you got to do the hard yards. But these guys, union rules say we just do blah 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 blah. Well, stuff the union. You want to get paid? Yeah. You want to get blacklisted for not doing the job properly? Walking out on the job.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. So what do you do?
Yeah. So our group of I won't go into details who's the last man standing in this one, because there's no point, because there's no person that kind of shines the brightest in this one.
There wasn't too many people left standing after he killed everybody.
Yeah. When I look at this movie, guys, I see it as more a cross between watching a drama.
No, the last man saying he was a killer.
Well, not really, not in this one.
In the last one?
Nope.
Who was left?
There was only a few other people
I'm
in the...
not talking about the guests in the party. I mean the main people. The producer was killed, and the actors and other people were killed, and other people were... Yeah, all the main people were killed off, weren't they?
Yeah, some no-brainers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yes.
the point I'm trying to make is that the sequel seems to be a cross between a reunion episode of meeting the, drama mostly, and the rest was just full of lots of gore and...
Yeah.
Anyway, the story starts off with our director having a hard time getting it all done, getting it all in the can, as I put it in the past.
Yippee!
And of course, there's a bit of funny other stuff, like a little bit of funny gags in this one.
Well, I was going to say that the second one is a bit more light-hearted. Now, I wouldn't say a comedy. I mean, to me, there's you've got serious slasher movies, and you got a horror comedy slasher, and you got the middle ground. And I'd say it's gone from the hardcore slasher, like the first one, into the next level up to make it a bit softer, maybe to get a bit of a slightly better audience response, maybe. I don't know, but it seems a bit softer. Yeah.
I think it's somewhere in the middle, guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, in the middle area.
But
not totally serious, not funny either. It's sort of like a bit of humour in it to soften those bits to make the kill scenes a bit more dramatic, maybe. Don't know.
Anyway, so we then cross over to later on. The director is talking to his brother. The brother is sort of, I guess, the producer or something.
I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure what
they didn't designate the roles properly. Yeah.
See, the director's there because he lost his phone, and it has all the script, his notes in it of his direction of how he's going to film this thing.
Yeah. You get screenshots or whatever, and
anyway, while he's looking, he gets his hands cut off.
Very nicely done too.
Yeah, and the light stand falls on top of him.
You know, you got those light stands. Got the barn doors. They're thin metal, and angled just the right way. And so when the light stand fell over on him, he put his hand up to protect himself, and the barn doors cut straight through his wrist. Very nicely done.
Yeah. I should mention, guys, most of the gore in this one is all homemade stuff. Again.
Well, not homemade. It was basic. It wasn't all. Wouldn't say there's any CGI. It was all basic stuff.
There was no CGI in this one.
Real stuff.
It was all, prosthetics and special effects makeup.
That's why Savini would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so they bring in the policeman, which they didn't do in the first movie, I should mention. Even though they did. Way to the end. Anyway, they had a reason for that because the police station was on the mainland and they were on a sort of an island-like area that didn't have any police resources.
No road access. Had to come in by boat, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Well, it was just one road in and out, and it was a very long road.
Or maybe on the mainland, a bit of a drive.
I think there was a bridge.
Yeah, it might have been a land bridge, a bridge, but it was a long drive from the main township.
Yeah. So anyway, so in this one we have a policeman trying to piece together who might have
killed the first guy.
Yes.
And we thought, you're going to be a bit of a whodunit.
And this policeman has a peculiar name, a very weird one, obviously, but it's not important.
What's your name?
I know it's something from a movie. I don't know.
Columbo
or something.
Gee, I wonder where that came from. Eh?
Detective Columbo. Brother.
Yeah, I think I stole that one.
Yeah. Anyway, he then he talks to everyone, like, crew, his brother, and they say that there was no one has any love for the director whatsoever.
Well, he was a hard man, a hard job, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, instead of, moving on, shut down the set and just pay the actors and get the hell out of there, they continue the work. And before you ask me, they have only one more scene to do, and then that's
put in the can. That's it. Finished. Yeah, you just want it done. Yeah.
And then there is the wrap-up party Mike brought up, which is more of like a horror con one where you dress up and have fans running around in traditional,
invite only.
you know, cult classic type horror costumes.
Because remember that guy wanted to get there, he didn't have a pass.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where you have to get a pass in order to be part of the experience.
Then that's when we saw guys dressed up as Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers and Art the Clown. And
I imagine...
Was Leatherface there? I think he was. And in the background, so I think you saw him running around.
I was hoping that when we see this, that maybe it could have been an outraged fan who was annoyed with the remake genre and wanted to get revenge on redoing a classic.
Guys.
Or something like that. That would be something cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on the night of the party, everyone is, getting down and jiggy with it. And most of our people, the usual stuff where they just go off on their own just to have a bit of fun, according to the script. Anyway, we also have the odd comedy fans who, we see a couple just sitting on the table, just chit-chatting most of the time, which I thought was a bit on.
Oh, yeah, the couple sitting there eating chips and stuff and having a chat and everything else.
That one is a bit...
Totally oblivious to what was going on.
Yeah, that's the worst type of... adding extra scenes for...
No, they was doing fun. That was part of the funny bits. I mean, these people sitting down there doing absolutely nothing, and the clown walks past for a photo bomb and that sort of stuff. Things like that. That was the funny parts put in to soften the other bits. Saying, two sets of reality in the movie, the funny bit and the horror bit. Yeah.
Anyway, of course, the influencer comes in there and tries to get one-on-one interviews with the cast and crew, and some of them just say, no comment, go away, leave me alone. I mean, he tried to do a video outside where he by the look of it, it didn't seem to have very grabbing much audience.
He didn't have any followers. No.
Lack of followers is the worst word I can think.
You're not wrong. Well, zero is pretty blackful, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, Mike. I mean, if it's 2 digits or 1 digit, it's lack of viewers.
Exactly.
I've heard that
We've got a
term
couple.
lot. We've got a few here and there. I mean, as long as we have interested parties who are interested stuff, then it's good stuff. So anyway, we then watch as our next kill would be the guy who was probably... I should mention there's 2 cameo actors who came from the original Mutilator, who came back, obviously, and kind of played themselves. I think that's the better word for it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Funny that.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah. Who was it?
Yeah. Of course, that they brought back the guy who played Big Ed, obviously, but it's a different actor for this one, I should mention.
Yeah. Well, he did want to be it, obviously.
I imagine he...
I think Terry Kaiser became the guy.
Yeah. Anyway, they're there at the party, of course, and they're talking, drinking, and doing the funny routine here and there. And, of course, in the meantime, meanwhile, a lot of kids or teens are out, going out of their way to get themselves killed. I think that's the term.
Going out of the way?
Yeah, getting in the way of the killer, so the killer kind of slashes them up. One of the deaths I like was the one where they get some of the 2 kids running around down a pier, I think that's the term, and these 2 spikes came out of the were triggered and kind of stabbed right into their little chest.
Straight through the chest and out the back. Pretty nice.
Pretty cool.
But that must have been set up after they walked onto the pier.
Ooh. Yes.
Because they walked on the pier, went down there, the 2 guys and 2 girls, and he must have set that up to at least knock off 2 of them on the way out.
Another girl whose body's tied to a pier column, I think it was.
Yeah, with all the seashells stuck to it, the muscles or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. The kids noticed her, and they were about to pull her body up, but not aware that her hands were tied, in a certain way, which causes her to rub against the...
her body was being dragged against all the ragged shells on the post of the wharf.
And by the time they got her to the top of it, she was dead, and her face is ripped to shreds.
That was good makeup, hey?
I agree. Another set of kids, I think, let me see, I think it was, one of the, it gets a thing stabbed through his mouth, obviously. He was playing a kazoo. We get this horrible, boring kazoo thing.
Wrong end.
Yeah, well, I mean, like...
No, he had his kazoo. It came up his bum and out his mouth. A long pole or something rather.
Yeah.
A thing on the end of it. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
His girlfriend gets killed. I won't go into details.
Yes.
And one guy had these push hooks, attached to all parts of his body.
Yeah,
like a horrible piercing.
Yeah, physics all wrapped around him, like they were strung together. A little bit like in Hellraiser, where the guy's flesh got ripped apart. He had stuff all over him. Yeah. He didn't get ripped apart. They had all these fish hooks stuck all over his skin and stuff. What happened to him then?
Yeah, gross.
What happened to him when
Which one was this again?
No, the guy with fish hooks and the net around him at the pier.
I know that one. I just meant which movie you're referring to.
In Hellraiser, when all those little things were fired at the guy's skin and they pulled him apart. Well, they didn't pull him apart in this movie. What happened to him?
I don't.
He just fell over, did he?
Yeah.
He fell over.
Oh.
I
yeah.
can't remember now.
And then eventually, the body of the actor, the old classic actor, his body just gets discovered, and then the detective, I should mention, he was at the film premiere, I should mention, but he doesn't do very much in the scene. He just sits and hovers. And then he interviews everyone saying, where were you? And they all said that they would have not killed this person. And we come close to the end of this movie, and we then later learn that it was the actor who played Big Ed who did it.
He kept saying, it wasn't me, it was Ed did it. He was totally
He's
cracked,
dragged away, and
another Norman
that
Bates
was
job.
the end of that movie. And then throughout the credits, we see behind the scenes of actors showing their special effects makeup jobs.
And say, look at me. Ha-ha. I'm really alive.
Yeah. Anyway.
That was cute.
That's it, guys. I mean, I enjoyed the first one, obviously. There's some really good gory effects and good story there, but not too sure about this one.
Sarah prefers the first movie to the second movie. Mm-hmm. I like them both because, I mean, you got to think about it. They've done about 30 odd years apart.
Got it.
And they've just changed the tone a little bit. So I think they're both good movies. The acting is the same level, I think. The filming's quite good. Uh-huh. The storyline's passable. Mm. Now I'm going to go back a little bit, regress down, and talk about reception.
Right.
Now I've got too much reception for the second movie, but critical response for the first movie we went past before.
Okay.
A lot of the reviewers didn't like it.
Pigness.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I've noticed that the past couple of years, when reviewers say, I don't like it, it's crappy, whatever, it usually goes good at box office. Isn't that funny?
And considering this went to home video, whatever, I imagine the fan base would have been impressed by the story, the movie, the gore, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But here is one thing which gets up my nose and does not make any sense.
Got it.
Variety called it a boring horror film designed strictly for fans of explicit gore. Who else would you be making it for? People who don't watch those sorts of movies? Of course, you're watching it for the people who want those sorts of movies.
So this is the sequel movie?
No, this is the first one.
Oh, okay.
Again, I know I can't find reception stuff on the second movie. Again, you guys are idiots. You just said, I mean, if I'm going to make a movie today, I'm going to target a market to sell it to. Mr. Cooper, Buddy, has targeted his market. The people who like gory, I wouldn't say B grade, that'd be unfair to him, but that not A level, how's that? A minus level. But the people like this sort of genre. He made it for the people who like that sort of genre. So, Variety, you suck. You got no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Mike, don't swear.
I
You don't know
said
who's
they
listening to this program.
They suck. That's not a naughty word.
And we could get pulled from this channel if you keep
No,
swearing.
that's not swearing.
It
They
is.
suck. I didn't say anything else, an F word or a C word. I said suck. Yeah. Now, point is, they're idiots. Hey, can I say idiots?
Yes, you can use the word
Okay, fine.
idiots.
They're idiots because that's who you make the movies for.
Yeah.
You're going to make a religious movie, you're going to target the people who like religion.
Got it.
You're going to make a horror movie or a sci-fi movie, you target the people who like horror movies or sci-fi movies.
I know. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's a really... I've seen it come up so many times.
Yeah, it's just that I always keep saying this. I mean, I was hoping... I had high hopes for the Mutilator 2, guys. I was hoping for a very good story. Aside from stories, I prize two things in making a good horror movie: one, story, and two, actors. I mean, characters. I mean, I wasn't too thrilled that it was slow moving in some scenes.
Oh, look,
it was well padded, but I thought it didn't have the right padding.
It had good continuity, but yeah, I think Sarah was wanting for a little bit more movement in it, a bit more action, maybe. Yeah, whatever.
I was liking. I wanted. I liked.
Or maybe the action started too late.
Yeah, I would have loved it if once the characters found that there was a murderer running around, that they would all group together and try to find out who the killer was.
They didn't know.
But instead of that, we just get this big reveal where we find out it's Big Ed's actor, and they just drag him away like he was a mental problem.
They kept saying it was Big Ed. I didn't do it, but yeah. But the point, I think, I think they waited too long in the film to start, apart from the first kill. But all the other ones, I think it started a little bit later in the movie than it should have, and that's probably what Sarah is getting at. It could have developed a little bit different.
Yeah, like maybe. Yeah, you can keep the first bit where them doing a remake, and then you later on cut to the horror con type film premiere. Film premiere thing, and then we start, going into the details like backstory into why they came back and why they're doing this. And do they have any particular motives for being there, stuff like that.
Whatever.
And then you can start killing people and start, and then once you get you get the first kill getting noticed or found, then people start getting scared and panicky and weirded out. And then you got a story where the people start figuring out maybe we should go and try to phone the police and and get more police down here to secure the place. But then, but maybe a twist would come into it and say somehow all our phones were are gone or something, or they lost all their phones, or they tried the main phone but somehow it's dead or something cool like that. I mean, they could have done something with it, guys. I just feel like the big reveal came off lacking is the big way.
Well, everyone had an idea who it was in the end.
Yeah.
So that was the whole point.
The red herring didn't work for me, in my opinion.
It wasn't a red herring in the end. It was a real herring.
Yeah. Anyway. The herring didn't work for me, guys, because it just fell flat. I would have loved it if there was other motives, like other people were there and had their own had their own hatred for each other, or coming up with a different set of motives.
Acting types alike.
Yeah, like maybe there was an obsessed fan who didn't want a remake and wanted to kill the actors before,
They read the script saying they're changing the script. Yeah, but don't leave well enough alone. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Or maybe even a person who was doing it so he can get more media attention centered on the actual movie. Which sounds even more cooler when you think about it. Or even killing off the old characters because that will make their movie look more impressive or something cool like that. I don't know. I mean, I have never made a movie within a movie before, and I would have loved it if they kind of
it wasn't a movie within a movie, but it was close to it. I think. Yeah.
I did think the filming style, like the the deaths were a lot more impressive to watch than the weird comedy relief scenes that were thrown in there just to meet up the movie.
I think there could have been a bit of extra padding. I mean, like I said, the padding's good, but I think if they brought the killings forward a bit and spaced them out a bit, it might have been better than trying to jam all together at the end. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what my general feeling is.
Yeah, it's my opinion that if you had an idea in your head about what you want to create, I always think do not put too much pressure on the story. Try to relax and try to make the story flow. In my opinion,
we're going to rate them.
Yeah, we might as well rate them. Should we rate them separately or?
Oh yeah, rate them. Now, Mutilator 1. 8.5, 9. I'll give it a 9.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 myself because
very nice.
I like cult classic movies, and the more they age, the more popular they get.
Like a fine wine.
And they start developing a very big audience, and despite the film critiquers out there saying negative stuff about it.
Oh, sorry, made for the fans. Well, who else do you make it for?
It was impressive in my book.
Fans go to the theatre.
And it was gory, and I'm impressed that Buddy used his own properties and stuff like that to make this film project instead of hiring they would have to hire out rooms at the motel down the road
and
to make
catering, props,
stuff like that to make sure
more
the actors
and,
and of course they would still have to get props to fill out the scene as much as possible too.
And hire the outside areas where they're doing the rap party and stuff. That may have been a public area. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah, it does keep the cost down if you can sort of use your own gear.
And they did get a prop guy to make the props for the prosthetics and stuff, which is even more impressive.
Like the fake hands that fell off in the beginning and the minimal, the guy got...
Yeah, I do think that aside from the mutilators when he got his hands chopped off, I thought that particular scene was a little bit on the weak side, but the rest of the deaths in Mutilator 2 were impressive, and
pleasing.
And the first Mutilator's death scenes were pretty cool and gory, and very creative.
Yeah. So, how are you going to rate the second one?
Okay, good point. How do you rate the second one?
Look, I gave the first one a 9. I liked it. I'll drop the other one down to about an 8. Nothing bad about the movie. It's just a case that I think they could have got the storyline telescoped inward a little bit, with the killings and stuff. Yeah, I'm not knocking Buddy. Buddy made a good movie.
I would have loved it if they did a few whodunits in this one.
But the red herring wasn't a red herring, and it didn't. It was him. So there wasn't any surprises at the end.
Yeah, and it didn't make me.
That lacked a bit. So but
if they were
it's still a good movie.
If they were hoping for me to laugh, I couldn't even bust a gum. I couldn't bust a gut watching this one.
I would actually recommend you watch both movies. The first one, obviously, first, and the second one after, and compare them. Yeah. Now, having said that, here we go. Where do you get them?
I forgot to say how to rate the second one, obviously.
Didn't do yours. Sorry.
I'm going to rate it 7 out of 10 myself.
I'll do that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Now, availability. Here we go. Get your pens and paper ready. Now, Mutilator 1, you can get it on eBay and Amazon. Okay. Now, drum roll. There are VHS, Beta, and Laserdiscs out there as well. Okay.
Right.
And there's also an unrelated film of the same name called The Mutilator. Okay, so gets the right one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, insofar as it goes to Mutilator 2 only came out October 2023. At the moment, it's on Shudder. I don't know if it's anywhere else. It may be. You may have to go hunting for it, but it is on Shudder, and I would suggest it would probably come out to other places like eBay and Amazon in due course.
Yeah. I do think that even though Buddy was, while the first movie it was pretty much, you knew the identity of the killer, and there was no need to hide that fact from the audience. But when he did it again in this movie, the sequel, the Mutilator 2, it just fell flat for me. That's my opinion. I just feel like it would have been great if there was a bit more of impact. I mean, it was just feeling like, oh, another kill, blood, blood. It just didn't. It just felt flat.
You try and say it was like a string of sausages. Another one,
Well,
without actually building up to it.
Without anything to tie the characters together or developing character development. This is another thing I like about horror movies: character development, where you develop your characters, give them a little bit of meat and backstory into their story, and kind of you start to root for them. Obviously, according to some people, you want to root for these people to survive. But when you don't have that little bit of thingy, you don't feel like you connect with the characters.
So I've got a problem. I usually root for Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and those sort of guys.
Yeah.
I'm wrong, am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I felt like I was more or less rooting for the killer to kill these people in.
These people deserve to go.
Anyway, I just couldn't see any connection, and I didn't see what his motive for doing this is, aside from enjoying it.
Well, the guy was cracked.
Yeah.
He went from a normal actor, and his brain was cracked, and he believed he was the killer.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
I mean, it would have been great if it was like Scream, where you find out the identity and then you get this whole backstory to why he's doing this, and most of it may not have been really interesting, but it's kind of gets you hooked because it's such an interesting twist. Anyway, so you know what our thoughts, and you know where to find it.
They're both good movies. I think the first movie is better than the second movie because that's my style of movie.
Yeah.
Okay, they're a little bit lighter. I don't mind it, but I think the first one's definitely better. But they do both warrant watching, both of them. Of course, they are both good movies, but one's better than the other. And obviously, it has to happen that way. I usually, it goes one way or the other. Either the original movie is really, really good and the sequel's not, or the first movie is average and the sequel blitzes it. So you can't have it both ways.
It's just like when they did Return to Sleepaway Camp. People frowned upon that one because they thought that one was done by the original director who didn't craft his filmmaking technique. So he was roped in to come back to make a sequel, and then. Well, he guess he wasn't taking it seriously.
Well, he just bung it together, did he? Well, there you go.
Well,
okay.
As I said before, when people are pushed to make a sequel and their heart's not in it,
come on, give us another one.
Then it's going to fall flat, for audiences. Anyway, so that's the Mutilator and Mutilator 2. So you know where to find it, and so. I hope you guys enjoyed our return, guys, and I hope you guys will see us on the 7th of February.
5th, isn't it?
No, the 7th.
Our next one.
We do it on Mondays and Wednesdays.
The next one, the 7th. Yeah.
So the next time you guys see us, it will be the 7th of February. So I hope you guys join us then as we review our next movie or TV show. I have not written down what we're going to review next, but I hope that it will be a good one. All right, that's it.
Me too.
So that's it from us, guys. So we'll see you guys next time. This is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael
saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now, and I hope you guys have a good New Year.
Well, it's a bit past that now, but have a good. We hope you had a good New Year, and I hope everything is going great for you now.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.